they require the knowledge from the biology or from chemistry, from computer science, the mechanical, and all the combined knowledge we require to make the sophisticated, the smart gadgets which are going to change the future. So we are talking about the future when you are going to pass out and you are going to make your own thing. We also discussed few projects what your seniors have done. It includes the drones and the robots, and you are going to make them very easily. And by studying all the courses and labs, I'm sure you are going to have achievements in the projects on the next level. You are going to take the projects on the next level. So this is about the recap. Then the applications, we have already discussed about the applications of electronics. Now what is the definition of electronics? So everything what we study, either it is a subject, chapter, topic, or any small diagram, we have to start with the meaning. I suggest you to start with the meaning of your name also. Usually I ask students their meaning of their name, and very few of them know the meaning of the names. So first thing what I want you to do as an assignment and off the track, you search your meaning of name if you already don't know, because name will have some impact on our personality. Our parents and the grandparents give us names so that we should have some good qualities given in the religion, in ourselves, and every name will have a very good meaning. So what you have to do, the first thing is to search the meaning of your name if you already don't know. Here we are going to start with the meaning of electronics. It is derived from the electrons. It comes from the electrons. Everything, the matter, the surroundings, you, me, the buildings, the walls and the rivers and planets and air, everything will have atoms. All the atoms have electrons in them, and this particular electronics come from that particular electron. So if you talk about the electron and the useful electron, then we confine to the conductors or the semiconductors or the movement of electron in the vacuum. All these three examples we will discuss. So let us talk about the conductors. We know the conductor conducts. We get the light, we get the fans, we get the television, and there are the wires connected to them. And we know that there is flow of some current inside that particular wire, and it runs the device, it runs the mobile phone, it runs all the gadgets. So that particular current is nothing but the movement of electrons. But we don't get movement of electron in all the materials. We get movement of electron only in the conductors. Why we get the movement of electrons only in conductors? We have the wooden part, we have the plastic, we have the glass, but they do not conduct, because the electrons in the insulators, we call them insulators. Wood or plastic is the insulator. In insulator, the electrons which are revolving around the nucleus are very closely attached with the nucleus, so they cannot come out of the atom. What we are talking about is electron, and not only electron, it is a free electron. He must be free to move. He must be free to flow, and that flow is nothing but current. And when he can flow only if he can jump out of the atom. If someone wants to go out of the orbit from the atom, he must have sufficient energy to overcome the gravitational force. We compare the atomic structure with our solar system. We have a sun, and the planets rotate around them continuously. And why do they rotate? Because there is some kind of gravitational force with sun and the planets. Similarly, in an atom, we have nucleus. It acts as a sun, and the electrons, they revolve around the nucleus, and there is a strong gravitational force in insulators. So in insulators, we don't get the current. Where we get current? In metals. Where we get current? In humans. Of course, we are the conductors. How we get the proof of current? Electrons are invisible. How can someone say if there is a current? If there is some open wire, you are connected to AC alternating current or DC high current, then if we touch open wire, what will happen? Of course, we are going to get the shock. because that current will flow across our body. Because we are conductors. Humans are also conductors. Water is conductor. Our electrons can jump out of the atoms easily with small additional force. So that makes the electronics from electrons. Where we apply them? It is a branch of physics and technology. When we talk about the atomic level, the structural level, the insulators, conductors and semiconductors, we have physics. Then when we come to technology, we talk about the chips, the controllers, the microprocessor. Usually we read on the laptops, Intel Inside. What is that Intel Inside? That means the processor inside the computer is made up of Intel. That chip is electronic chip, made up of a semiconductor called silicon. So these things are given in the technology where we are going to use the transistors and microchips. Then semiconductors, they behave partially as the conductor, partially as the insulators. That is very important concept for VLSI technology, the processors, for the CSE and for the EC. For everyone it is very important concept that we are going to discuss. And then we have vacuum or gases. If you remember in your childhood, you might have seen the bigger televisions, or nowadays also you can see a bigger screens for the computer monitors. Recently we are getting the flat LED televisions, but before that we had a complete big structure. And what was there inside? Inside that there was a picture tube. If someone might have repaired or visited the mechanic shop with the open cover, the open body of that particular picture tube, you might have seen some structure where there was a screen and there was a glass tube. And on the screen we get the various pictures, from speakers we get the audio. What was that? It was a vacuum inside the particular chamber. When we get some connection from the dish antenna and the wire is connected to the television, then this particular signal which comes, it gets transferred through wire to the picture tube and we get the electrons. That electron travels from vacuum and they bombard on the backside screen of the television and we get the shape according to the input signal. But right now we could develop the transistor in a very high level of integration, so that we have converted them to very slim televisions. So this is about the electronics. What is the meaning of electronics? Now we will see the example. We will see the example of mobile and how these subjects are going to be included in electronics. So if you talk about a mobile, first thing, if you miss your mobile for one day, how will you feel? You are going to feel like an handicapped person, because most of the works we are doing through mobile phone nowadays. And since the lockdown, it became the lifeline. Everything is working on the mobile phone. What is mobile phone? An electronic gadget. What is involved in that? There is communication involved. There are antennas, there are mics, there are the speakers, and there are the gadgets. So let us have what other things are related with this. So when we take a mobile phone in hand, and the primary function of mobile phone is communication. First, when mobile was developed, the beginning was from 1G. Then it jumped to 2G, 3G, 4G. Now we are moving to the extension of 5G. Earlier phones were bulky, black and white, and very heavy, and their shape was something like this, if someone might have seen, and there was very small black and white screen. As the technology is increasing in electronics, we are getting smartphones where antenna is not visible. So when we take a mobile phone in hand, first thing, when we connect a call, we talk. And the mic is used for that purpose. What are these things? The mic is a kind of sensor. We require many sensors. When we talk about the IoT, there are a lot of jobs in market for IoTs and artificial intelligence. What is IoT, Internet of Things, is related with the sensors. Sensor is also called as transducer. While we talk, while we eat, while we walk, for everything we need some kind of sensation. We sense the taste, we sense the vision, we sense the sound. We have the sensors given by Almighty God. Similarly, we have to develop sensors for making a smart system. So these sensors will sense the sound, these sensors will sense the temperature, this sensor will sense various parameters available in the atmosphere. If you use a bike and it have a digital display, then what you are doing, you are sensing the speed in terms of the rotation of the tire. So we need various sensors. So in mobile phone we use a primary sensor, say mic, then we talk. And this mic will have a sound. Sound is a normal routine signal which we talk in our language, either it is Urdu or English or any other language. But when we communicate through a gadget doesn't understand the language of humans. It is a signal for him. So voice is a signal which we are going to transmit inside the mobile. So when he receives that signal, what he has to do? He has to convert it into his own language. So his own language, communication language of the systems. We have the analog signals and digital signals. So when we talk about the analog, so analog signal, we have a signal, if it is varying with respect to some parameter, say time, then it is alternating value, continuously changing. It is analog. When we talk, our signals have vibration. We have some vibrating thing in our throat, it vibrates while we talk, and those vibration gets converted into sound waves. So this is some kind of analog signal, the vibration signal. And this signal, when we feed to the mobile phone, it converts it into the language of computer, the language of digital. It talks about zeros and ones and zeros and ones. So all the signals which are having continuous value will get converted into the values of digital. That is only 0 and 1. What is the benefit? First, if you compare analog and digital system, let us have an example of a wall clock. Suppose there is a wall clock here and you are watching from the front view. From front view, you are able to see the time is exactly 4 p.m. Now, if someone watch it from the another corner of the room, will he able to see exact 4 o'clock? No, he will be able to see maybe probably 3.59. If someone watch from another angle, he may be able to see 4 plus 1 minute extra. It is because of the vision error. It depends on the angle. But if we have a digital clock, it will show us something like this. And this will have a same image from all the corners, either it is front view, side views or any view. We cannot see here 3.59. But if it is analog watch, there must be angle consideration. We may have small slight error. This is one example where digital system is preferred. If you see another example, for example, why we have to choose digital, why we need all those conversions. Another example is the memory space. Memory space is very important. Right now also while recording we have to keep track of the length, the how many GB this complete recording is going to happen, and it should not exceed the limit. So when you talk about the memory, you should have more data in small memory. If you might have seen the radio cassettes, the tape recorder cassettes. Earlier there was a tape recorder with the cassettes, and in one cassette there used to be some songs, say 7 to 8 songs at one side and 7 to 8 songs on another side. And there was a magnetic tape. If you open that particular link, you might have played with the roll of that cassette. If someone might have not seen, you can search it in the Google. And if you open that particular wire, it could have meters of length. In that particular space, it was possible to have only 15 songs in meters of length. because the signal was embedded with analog technology. Now if you have very small memory chip, memory card, say of 64 GB, how many songs you can have, how many movies you can have, how much data you can have in that small space. So what is the beauty of this thing is that when we talk about the analog signal, we require to store every movement. This signal is starting from 0 and going to some peak value. So he has to record this place, this place, this place, this place, and all the places in the signal. It takes more space. If we are able to convert the same signal into digital form, it talks about only two values, zeros and ones. So he requires less space and he requires less memory to remember the ones and zeros. That is the machine language, that is the binary language, that is the language of machine. That we have to consider. Second thing, we talk about the concept of current. Now we will extend. Now current also have two types. We get current at the house, which is supplied by the electric. Now if we talk about the electricity board, what it gives, it provides electricity at the house. It is of AC type, alternating type. It takes some signal which is analog. It has 230 volts and 50 hertz frequency. Now this signal is alternating current, what we get at the house. Now if we talk about the voltage and currents, can you imagine your mobile phone without the battery? We cannot run it. Whatever functions it may have, whatever facilities it may have, it requires a battery. And that battery will give us some voltage. Every battery has some particular voltage limit. If you open your mobile phone and if you are able to see the battery, there will be specification, like you may have 3.3 volts battery or 5 volts battery, or there may be any other number according to your mobile phone. So that particular voltage, that particular driving force is required to run your mobile phone, and that particular voltage creates current. When we apply a battery, we get current. What is current? Flow of electrons. From where we get the electrons? From a conducting material. So voltage and current are directly proportional to each other. As you increase the voltage, the current increases. Now then we require the resistance. Sorry for the interruption again. So what we are talking about? We are talking about the voltage, and voltage is creating the current. Whenever we apply a battery, we get voltage and it creates some kind of current. When we have voltage and current, we also have resistance. We should consider the levels of voltage and current. How much is the supporting current for particular section? If our mobile phone require less amount of voltage and less amount of current, we have to give that particular amount of current. We cannot give more current or more voltage. What will happen if you give more voltage to any gadget? It will burst, it will damage. Sometimes we get overload voltage at houses and it can damage a particular device if it is on at that particular moment. When we are talking about a household supply voltage which is given by the Telangana State Electricity Board, it is 230 volt. This voltage is very high for a mobile phone. First thing. Second thing, mobile phone doesn't require AC current. Mobile phone require a DC current. That is direct current. So what we have to do? We have charger for that. How we charge the battery? We connect some charger. That charger, when we connect to the plug, he takes 230 volt. And then what he do? He reduce that 230 volt to the limits of the mobile phone. It may be 5 volt, 9 volt or 10 volt. Then that particular reduced voltage should be given to the mobile phone, and that mobile phone should also get that current converted into direct current. So when we plug charger will give us a reduced voltage which is of DC type, which can be handled by mobile phone. So mobile will get, say for example 5 volt DC current. So now we have a limited voltage which can be handled by the mobile phone. Now in mobile phone there are various sections. In various sections, all the sections may not require the same amount of current. Some section may require 3 volts, some section may require 3.3 volt or any other value. Then how can we control this level of current? For that we have resistance. What is the meaning of resistance? Resistance means resist. To resist, there is always resistance to the change. So when a current flows, if someone is resisting it or reducing its value, then it is termed as resistance. So we have voltage which is directly proportional to the current. You increase the voltage, you get more current, and they are inversely proportional to the resistance. That means if voltage goes up, the resistance goes down. Now these three elements are related with one law. It is called as Ohm's law. It is a very basic required law which we are going to use throughout the subject and also in other subjects, which talks about the relation between voltage, current and resistance. So here we have Ohm's law. It states what we have discussed. What we are saying? Say it says I, current, is directly proportional to the voltage and inversely proportional to the resistance. So if current increases, resistance decreases. If you want to reduce current, you have to increase the resistance and current goes down. This is about the Ohm's law. So these particular gadgets, the device, if you open some damaged mobile phone, you will be able to see various electronic devices, various small elements which are electrical elements. They are classified under active elements and passive elements. The most common elements are the RLC. Say we require a battery to run any system. So say this is our battery. Battery will have terminals, one positive terminal, one negative terminal. Even in your mobile phone, in battery, there will be one plus sign, one negative sign. It creates a potential difference. We will see it detailed in the voltage topic. So here we have a battery, and this battery we are connecting with various gadgets or various elements. So basic passive elements are resistor, inductor and capacitor. So this current direction for conventional we consider as positive to negative. The real direction is different. For that we will see in next class. Right now what we have to remember, we have a gadget. In gadget we require the voltage, it creates current, and the relation between voltage, current and resistance are related with Ohm's law. This is a simple circuit which consists resistor, inductor and capacitor. Then what else we require in the mobile phone? Then we require the microprocessor. That is the brain of our mobile phone. In mobile phone we have seen how it is communicating, how we require the analog system, how we require the digital system, how it is communicating in machine language. Now we are talking about the brain of. Now then what we require? We require the microprocessor. For every system, laptop, computer, the mobile phones, the robots, the drones, we must have a kind of brain inside them. That brain controls various activities. That brain is called as the microprocessor. These are all subjects. What we are discussing from a mobile phone example is nothing but the various subjects what we are going to study throughout our engineering. We have to study VLSI. VLSI talk about the reduction of size. Earlier the television size was very bulky, it was very high, it was very big. Now we are reduced it to the small flat LED. How we are able to do that? We are able to do that just because of the VLSI technology. The technology has improved in such a way that the particular big picture tube is reduced to a small thin LED screen. That is the beauty of this technology. Then this same technology is used to make the microprocessor and microcontrollers. Microprocessor is a bigger brain. If we require more functions, various functions at various places, then we require a bigger processor. Suppose if we want to make a smaller system, say if you want to design something which will help in the kitchen to your mom, if you want to make a gadget where you have a specific task like a washing machine. In washing machine, what brain we require? We have various operations, the rinsing, the cleaning and the draining, and everything must have a timer, and everyone must execute in a particular sequence. That is one example of the microcontroller which is controlling the machine. It will have a small brain, it will have less cost. If you talk about the processor, it will have the more cost. And what technology is making them in a small size? The VLSI technology. Its long form is very large scale integration. That means we will have a transistor, which we are going to study in this subject. In this subject, the most important gadget is transistor, and that transistor is making the VLSI or the microprocessors. We must know it, because as an engineer, we cannot be just an end user. Why we are taking example of mobile phone? Because our concentration and our attention improves while we listen about the mobile phone. That is as an end user, but as an engineer, what you have to do? You have to think about the engineering behind the mobile phone. So far we have discussed so many engineering subjects are related with the mobile phone concepts. All of them are used to make a mobile phone. Now we are talking about the microprocessor and controllers. Now you think about the another microcontroller which require a specific operation at home, in home appliances, which may require a brain. Apart from the washing machines, we will discuss at the last. You can also post answer in the comments. So this is about the microprocessor. Then what we have the system, the communication. In communication, we have various communication. Previously we discussed about the digital communication. It talks about the zeros and ones. Then we have a wider range of communication. When we talk about a mobile phone alone cannot talk. It requires some antenna outside. When you take a signal from internet, from a television broadcasting system, they take signal from the satellite. So we have subjects related to satellite communication. We have subjects related to mobile communication. We have to study the landlines. Mobiles are not just meant to connect with another mobile. You can also call on the landlines. What is landline? It's a wired phone. You require a wire to talk on a normal telephone. But from mobile phone you can communicate. So what you have to do, you have to have a system which communicates from a wireless system to a wired system. Right? So we have various communications. All those are required. If we see the flow of this communication, another important parameter we require is antenna and the radiation. So those are called as the electromagnetic signal. From a mobile phone, if we take an example of mobile phone, so now what we have in mobile phone, a flat screen, and there is no visible antenna on the surface, but there is an inbuilt antenna. Can we transmit our signal without any antenna? We cannot do that. We require some sort of antenna which is present inside the board. That is also due to the advancement in the electronics that transmit the signal. And there must be a receiver signal. We have various towers in the city. We can see mobile towers. They catch the signal, they transmit to the receiver end. Similarly, we have various towers for the mobile, the television receptions at houses, and they are connected from the satellite, and all these signals are in the form of electromagnetic signal. Now, if you see the difference, we have started from the sound signal. Our conversation started from the sound signal. When we talk, our sound signal is received by the mic of mobile phone, and it is getting converted into an electrical signal inside mobile. That electrical signal is getting converted into digital signal. Now that digital signal, again it should go in the atmosphere. Now while it goes in atmosphere, it does not go like sound. It will not travel like a sound in the space. Otherwise we will get so many bombarding of the sounds. It goes in invisible form. That form is called as the electromagnetics. It is the electromagnetics So from phone, what we have? We have a mobile phone. Mobile phone communicates with a cell tower. The cell towers receive the signal. Those signals are nothing but the electromagnetic waves which transmits. So this journey from a communication of one end to another end requires so many subjects,